Here we are, broken down on our first time. Dog's laying outside. Got a crank situation, but no start. So we got coach net en route, and hopefully they'll find me a tow truck to get this thing towed to Ehrenberg and get her going. We'll check in with you later, let you know what's going on. All right, just got off the phone with Coach Net. Got a tow truck on the way. Be here within the hour. Stay tuned for an update. Got it loaded up and get ready to go. See what happens next. There they go, my saviors of the night. Thank you, Parker Towing. And we are here waiting for a diagnosis. And the nice thing is we can stay in the bus tonight in the parking lot. Okay. Here we are, day number 2, and Parker Towing has come back to take me to someplace else that might fix it. Right now we're still dead in the water. So hopefully when we get to Blythe, California, the next shop, they can get it going. Catch you later. Well, made it to Blythe, California. This is our view from the driver's lounge at the CAT dealership. I'm waiting to get it in to diagnose what the problem is. And it's raining again. So we'll keep in touch and see what the next round goes after we get diagnosed. Well, as you can see, our bus and dog have made it back to our campsite out in Arizona. This is much better than being in the middle of town. But we'll see if the bus is going to start. In just a moment, we'll go inside and turn the key and see what happens. And this is going to be the first test about 24 hours after we had the bus in the shop. Turn the key and see what happens. Hopefully it'll start. Let's go through the starting process. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Music to my ears. All the alarms and everything. The previous problem was it would crank but no start. This crank, the engine would just turn and turn and turn and turn and turn. Tried it for 2 different days after I got towed to the first shop. The second day I tried it again. Crank, nothing happened. So I had it towed to a Caterpillar dealership, Empire Caterpillar in Blythe, California, which is about 25 miles from where the camp is. And they were able to get it going. So I'll show you here in a minute what they found. It was nothing major, thank goodness, but it would cause you not to start, which is a major problem. So check back in a minute and I'll show you what it was. The issue outside the bus seemed to be why it wasn't starting was it just cranked, it wouldn't start. So we checked, I checked, and they checked, and there's fuses everywhere on a school bus. This is fuses right here. There's 3 of them. One controls the ECM, one controls the IDM, the injector drive module, and one controls the transmission control on the batteries. Then you have all these fuses. This section here is basically the interior of the bus, all the lights and etc. This is the fuses that go to the drive part, the engine block. Once again, a lot of fuses, relays, and a huge wiring diagram that shows you what to do. I am not a wiring expert, so don't take anything from me from granted. I just kind of learn as I go. Let's open up the hood and I'll show you what they found. All right. All right, this is the International VT365 6.0 liter Power Stroke version diesel engine. They made these for a few years in buses back in the early 2000s. This is the 2006. And it still has way more things on it than I'm comfortable with trying to find. Like these. There's more wiring, more fuses, more relays, more wiring, more plug. Back up under here. What do you have? More relays, more fuses. There's a fuse here with all the wires going to it. And there's another block on the other side. There's just too many computer items on a bus, on the vehicle anymore, to trying to figure out what to look for. But here's what the mechanic said. He was a very nice mechanic, been around for many, many years, and his diagnosis was with a test light and a voltmeter. He said, I don't need electronic computer things. I can fix it with a volt light and text meter and find out what the problem is. And I guess he did. They got it in the shop, checked a couple things, and had it running in just a matter of a few minutes after it didn't run for 2 days. But what he found was, we'll show you here, this piece right here is the IDM injector drive module, which controls your fuel injection system. And on the International, this piece is your ECM, your electronic control module, which basically controls everything else. And I think they're wired together from what I could tell. But the first shop I took it into, Ehrenberg, was very limited on their diagnosis. They did a lot of road train and not powertrain issues, but more suspension, brakes, tires, lubes, wheel bearings, etc. They pulled the code and it showed this part as being at fault, which is your IDM fault, which means this was not getting power, which would allow your engine to turn, but it wouldn't allow the injectors to fire. So what the mechanic did, checked everything. He checked all these pins, which seemed like to be thousands of them. But his diagnosis was this section right here. In here is a section of wires and connectors that connect, I guess, the wiring harness into the ECM and the IDM. And he found that one of the pins, pin number, I think 12, he knows what they're at, was not making contact and letting the ECM, this part, fire off and generate power to start this, which in turn does everything else, start the engine. Took it apart, cleaned out the terminals, put it back together, and it started up. So luckily, it wasn't a $1,500 part down here, or $2,000-3,000 part. Who knows how much these are? Being new, used is much cheaper, or any other sensors, which would be expensive. It was just a wiring program, and you can see there's a lot of wires. So this basic fix was, I would say, kind of simple. They do have at the Empire Caterpillar dealership and supply a minimum of $500 diagnostic service charge. And so I said, that's fine, I need it running. So this is my home, I live in it, I drive in it, me and my dog live out of it, so we need it running. And so luckily it was just hopefully a bad wire connection. It doesn't take much voltage, I guess, to drop and not have the correct voltage for everything to work right. And the computer systems will basically not operate. So, and in that case, it was the whole bill minus the towing was a little over $700, which is not bad for diesel mechanic and diesel time, I guess. But it could have been a lot more. It could have been a more expensive part. It could have been several thousands of dollars. So luckily and hopefully this will last for a while. And if it does it again, he told me what to check. And so the best part of the whole thing was my dog, was the towing. the towing on this bus. I had it towed twice because the first shop couldn't repair it. They didn't have the expertise or the knowledge to go into the powertrain, into the computer system. So they didn't repair it, and then I had it towed again. So the first tow was about 20 miles from Ehrenberg, from Quartzsite to Ehrenberg. And then the next day it was towed from Ehrenberg to Blythe, which is about 3 miles. And luckily I have CoachNet roadside assistance. I can't say enough good things about them. I've used them 3 times two for battery jumps, and this was the first time for tow. And yes, people, they do tow schoolies. So, and the agents online were very nice, and they said, "Oh, we see you have a 2006 International RV converted school bus motorhome." I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Okay, what is wrong?" So, it is in their system as a converted RV bus, and they towed it twice. Since the first shop couldn't fix it, called them back, and they towed me to the shop that could fix it. So that would probably saved $1,200, I would say, because an 18-wheeler, basically, a semi truck to haul a 22,000-pound bus is not cheap, and so, but they got me going, and as you notice in the last little section, it started up, which is even better. So now we can go to town, do our adventures, and do some more things. And here on the other side is actually more relays, more wires. They're just, if you're not a mechanic or know how to run a test light or a voltmeter, you could be in a world of hurt. And sometimes that's what I am, in a world of hurt, because I am not an expert at test lights and voltage and things, but I could almost get by once in a while if I had to. But sometimes it's easier for me just to let the higher paid mechanics take care of things. So there you go, people. We're back in Quartzsite. It's about 47 degrees, clear sky, blue sky. Oh, it's gonna be nice out here. We got some rain yesterday again, which is twice in the last 3 weeks. We had rain in the desert, which I would think it'd be drier, but I guess it's rainy season. I don't know. But here we go. We'll get back to work. Thanks for watching.